All right, welcome back, Solar Spartans. I'm excited for this module, Crowning of a King. This is all about lead generation, personal branding, helping you scale up your pipeline and fill your calendar full of highly qualified leads. And I'm excited about some of the strategies and topics we're going to talk about. And of course, mindsets, as always, that are going to help you get to the next level. Things that have taken me to the next level with lead generation, being able to, ever since my first week in the solar industry, have at least 20 to 50 highly qualified leads in my pipeline on a weekly basis. And I know it sounds like a lot to many of you guys, and many of these strategies were without using advertising, without putting up much money or little investment on my part to acquire them. So realize that you don't have to be a funnel master, a funnel guru. You don't have to go out and learn how to do advertising to generate a lot of high quality leads. There are plenty of guys, as we'll talk about in this industry, that are making multiple $1 million incomes a year in commissions by just knocking doors and working on the fundamental strategies and working referrals out. And I'm really going to focus a lot on these key fundamental strategies that are going to take you to the next level, and then sprinkle in some of the more advanced stuff that's going to help amplify that. It's absolutely ludicrous what's going on in the industry right now, where people are out there doing chatbots, doing ads, doing email marketing and things when they don't even know how to sell. They don't know how to communicate with people. They don't know how to pitch properly. And they're literally shooting themselves in the foot by running around, diverting their focus in 100 different ways, when they could just be mastering one lead generation activity like we've talked about in the past. So as we go into this, I don't want you to make the mistake in trying to do all of the things at once. Don't try to do Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook. Don't try to do door knocking and mailers and any of the cool tools I'll show you in this. Don't try to do all of those at once. Just pick one activity. And we'll talk about this, but each one of these lead generation activities have the ability to make you $2 million minimum in commissions a year. I know people in the industry that use each one of these things, and that's all they do solely, and they focus in on it. And they make a ridiculous amount of money doing so. And it's because they don't do everything. They say no to the latest opportunities. They say no to the fancy little gadgets. And they just focus in on what is most important. And they really focus on the fundamentals of communication, which is what we're going to talk about a lot in Crowning of a King. So that being said, you know where this is going. I want to talk about these first 4 things as basis before we get into more of the tactical strategies in this section. So the first, I'm going to talk about the dichotomy of lead generation, what's going on in the marketplace right now, why you're hearing all these different things on Facebook and different mentors are talking about this, and why, quite frankly, it's all a bunch of nonsense, and you really need to focus in on some of those fundamentals and those key principles I've talked about and the strategies we're going to go over in this module. The next one is laser-like focus, right? Focusing in on one lead gen activity, mastering it, going deep, all in, and you're going to be way better off than somebody who's dabbling in a million things. I'm going to talk about positioning, why you should position yourself differently in order to attract different prospects. Rather than chasing and hunting just one lead at a time, you could position yourself as an expert and magnetize them and attract mass quantities of leads at once. And then I'm going to show you how to do results-based marketing. This is something that in all industries is becoming very necessary, and it's really the only way to acquire customers easily these days. But especially in solar, nobody's thinking about this. And the top companies and producers that I know, I coach, and I personally use these strategies with, this is some killer stuff. So I'm very excited to go over that as well. So the dichotomy of lead generation, okay? Here's the problem with the marketplace right now, and you know this, right? You know this if you've been on Facebook, you're checking out the groups, and chances are you've been on Facebook if you invested in the Spartan system at this point, right? The problem is everybody is focused on the low-hanging fruit. So what I mean by low-hanging fruit right now in solar, because the marketplace is so new, right? And solar's so new as a thing and it hasn't hit mass adoption, meaning only a handful of people are aware of solar and even a smaller portion are thinking about buying. The problem is we as a whole, as the entire solar industry, are focused on the small, very small piece of the market that is ready to buy today. And those are the type of customers we're spending all of our energy and resources on trying to get. The problem with this is it's short-term thinking and a long-term game. We know that solar is a long-term product. It takes 3, 4, 5 months even to get an install done. And when you focus on just short-term today results, you're completely missing over 90%, 93% of all of the potential customers in the back end. And virtually no solar companies, no solar reps are ever tapping into that marketplace because they just want to make a sale today. They just want to make money today. And they're focused on that little piece. And the problem is this small piece, of course, it's not a huge piece of the marketplace, right? There's not a lot to deal with. It's also drying up and it's becoming oversaturated. So when you go out and you knock doors, for example, right, and you do an activity like that, or even running some Facebook ads at this point, you're just looking for, with your message, the people who have thought about solar and they're going to buy now. And that's such a small piece of the marketplace. And the fact that we're all scrambling like vultures, right, for this one little type of customer is ridiculous. It's a huge waste of energy, a huge waste of time. And I'm going to show you how the rest of the marketplace, the rest of the leads are going to be the easiest deals to get for you because everybody else is scrambling for this crap, for the scraps. You're going to get the high quality leads that are going to turn into high quality customers and give you high quality referrals. It's kind of like the tip of the iceberg, right? We're all focused on the tip of the iceberg right now, but we don't know the huge mammoth size iceberg in the bottom. I'm going to show you how to tap into that. So let's get into this, right? Here's what we're looking at with this little graph I put together off of my years of study with this and thousands of different coaching calls and scenarios here. This is what I found in many industries, but especially solar. We've got our top half of the pyramid here, and this is what I talked about. This is the tip of the iceberg. This is the 7% of the marketplace, and we call these our hot buyers. These are people who want to buy solar now. Maybe they've had 3, 4 quotes. Maybe they've been thinking about it. They're really interested, and they're lay down sales that everybody loves, and we're all chasing after, right? They don't know us. They're often cold traffic, but they're hot buyers, super out of the ordinary. But let me tell you about these. It takes these buyers a lot of energy to convert them into customers, meaning we've got to go knock doors, right? We've got to go do lots of high energy activities that require a lot of expended time, a lot of expended money, right? The cost on these is pretty high as well. But in return, we could get results quickly, usually less than a week. If you go knock doors today, if you know what you're doing, if you follow the training we're going to do in here, you're definitely going to get some leads and you're going to get them quickly, okay? But it's going to cost you a lot of energy. It's like blasting off a rocket ship at high speed, right? It's going to get there. The thrust is there. Boom. But it takes a lot to get there. So that's the cold traffic. This is what probably 90% of the solar industry is focused on right here, just the hot buyers. They're ignoring everything below. Now, the warm traffic, these are going to be your referrals from like partnerships. So if you go talk to like a roofing company, for example, right, and you try to share leads with them, or a real estate company and you share leads with them, that could be a warm traffic type of referral. These could be immediate referrals from your customers. So let's say you go close a deal and they say, hey, you should also talk to my neighbor right now too. That's a warm traffic lead. Warm traffic leads could also be follow-ups of 1 to 4 weeks, so about a month. So you get a lead and they're busy and you keep following up with them, right? You're going to get that. And it's a warm traffic lead. Some solar companies are doing okay at this as well. Some are not. But again, It's only 12% of the marketplace. It's not a lot. So combined with these, you're only hitting 19%. And I've met very few companies that ever touch the bottom two here. And those are multiple 8 and 9-figure solar companies that do that, and reps that are clearing $1 million commissions, 10 million in sales a year. Okay. So about warm traffic, it also takes a lot of energy. 7 out of 10. It's going to take you a lot of energy, a lot of follow-up, a lot of phone calls, a lot of grind to get these leads. It's going to take 1 to 4 weeks, and the cost is a little bit lower, right? But it's still going to cost you a lot. If you own a company, you're going to have appointment setters. If you personally have to go close these, right, the cost for you is you got to spend more time. Say your time is worth $250 an hour, $500 an hour, like you did in that exercise. It's going to cost you X number of hours, and that's going to cost you X number of dollars in return. Next is going to be warm referrals, right? These are your customers and the people that they refer over at any point, right? So these are going to be, finish up your appointment, and you'll learn how to do this later in the advocate module as well. And those initial referrals that you get as well, usually the friends, family members, people that are really close to your prospects that are willing to name drop, willing to recommend you if you've made it easy for them, and as well as the quality is there. So the energy on these doesn't take as much. Sometimes you need to follow up with the referrals, right? The time could take 2 to 8 weeks plus, and then the cost is basically free. It's low, right? It doesn't take a ton of time to do so. Super great quality referrals there. And then the last one here is lifetime referrals. These are the referrals that are referred 1 year, 2 years, 3, 5 years out. And this is going to make up 39% of the total market, total leads that you have. They take the least amount of energy to produce. It's really just a matter of following up with your customers, touching base with them, and being a part of their lives. But the time does take a while, and the cost is minimum as well. But this is the majority of your prospects, of your pipeline. And again, nobody's even utilizing these because nobody's staying in the industry for 2-3 years, let alone following up and building lifetime relationships with these people. If you think to other industries like real estate, where the industry is very established, it's been around a while, real estate agents, solid real estate agents that are making multiple $1 million incomes are following up with their homeowners on a regular basis. They're sending birthday gifts. They're sending Christmas cards. They're sending gifts. They're showing up to big life events, and they become a part of their family. Those are the types of relationships that are going to pay you dividends throughout the rest of your career and lifetime. So make sure you are focused on developing lifetime relationships. I always say that during the lead generation process and the presentation and even closing process, I'm not huge on typical rapport building activities where I'm trying to talk about the family and the dog and all of that stuff. I really focus on those types of relationships after the sale is made. And the reason is simple. If you try to build rapport, right, quote unquote, these typical strategies, trying to get involved in their life before the sale, then they just think you're trying to sales tactic and you're just trying to make a quick deal. But after the deal is done, they see it's genuine. They actually want to build a relationship with you, and their guard is down. They're not focused on trying to just avoid getting screwed over by you as a salesperson. So that's when I like to really whip out all the rapport building strategies, and I'm trying to become their friend. So this is the referral process, or the traffic process, rather. Again, we want to be focusing on all of this, so we're utilizing every single piece that we possibly can to fill up our pipeline. So here's a concept that I really want you guys to grasp. It's a concept that I think nobody in this industry is thinking about, which is absolutely insane because every industry that has successful people in it, they're always on target. They're always thinking about the lifetime value of their customers. And this is really, and I talked about it earlier in the fundamentals, the power of long-term thinking, but this is really going a step further. And this is based off of data that I've gotten from a lot of different students, as well as my own team and my own company as well. The average value for a customer is obviously going to change a bit, but it's usually 4 to 6 times the amount that we think of. So in other words, when you get a lead, a potential lead, you probably think, all right, I'm going to make $1,500 off of this customer. I'm going to make $2,000, $2,500, whatever it is for you and your commission. But what you don't realize is that customer can become 6 customers, 9 customers, even 20 plus customers I've even seen off of just one single sale. So if you think about it that way, all of a sudden your job isn't just to get a contract signed. That's just the beginning. It really goes the lifetime, as we've talked about. That's where you get the rest of these customers. So usually I've found that phase 1, right, that's going to be your typical customer. You're going to make, on average in the industry right now, it's $2,500 as a sales rep for getting that deal. That's cool, but we're not going to cut it off there like most sales professionals. Usually within 3 to 6 months, I've seen with my own clients, I could get 3 referrals that turn into customers for every single customer. So this is going to be a total of 5,000, right? I'm going to get, this is 2 referrals, sorry, not 3. I'm going to get $5,000 per customer in addition to that $2,500. So it puts us at $7,500. Now, phase 3, about 6 months to 12 months out, we're going to get an additional 3 referrals off of this same customer, these customers, right? The string of customers. It's going to be another $7,500. And then 1 to 3 years out as well, it's another 10 to 25 grand. So I want you to start thinking of each customer as the potential to make $25,000 or more. If you think about it that way, it's huge, right? That's literally 10 times the amount that you would normally make, now has a potential to be 25 grand in commissions for you. That's a ridiculous amount. So if you have this in mind when you go into your customer interactions, you're going to be able to really work the proper way, build the relationship properly, and use the tools and have the correct mindset to follow up and get these deals done. So let's go to the next part here. All right, so the power of one customer. We've talked about the power of what happens later down the road, and I want you to realize that the methods everybody's using to really just get one customer in the door, right? The perfect door knocking script, the perfect Facebook ad, everybody's focused on that little first 7%. And I'm here to tell you, as somebody who has helped so many solar professionals get out of this, that the most important one thing that you do is just get your first customer. Because if you focus on just getting one customer and utilize the strategies we're going to teach you through the referral advocate process and the rest of this module here, it doesn't matter. You're going to get to the point where you don't have to go do door knocking. You don't have to do different advertising, right? And you're just getting 100% referrals from your business. This is the place you want to be, and you want to be there as quickly as possible. And I want you to realize that you don't actually have to wait very long to get there. You just get your first customer. That's all that matters. And it doesn't matter how you do it, any way possible, right? So with that in mind, I want to show you this graph here. One customer, door knocking, right? It could be Instagram, it could be LinkedIn, it could be Facebook. Any of the strategies we'll teach you here, right? It doesn't matter how it is. You're going to turn that one customer into 2 customers. This is what happens every single time. If you follow this process, I guarantee if you execute it down to the letter, right? You're going to get 2 customers every single sale that you make, all right? So that 2 customers, each one of those customers, you're going to do the exact same thing, and each one of those are going to yield 4 customers, right? And you can see how it just keeps branching out. Those 4 go to 16, 16 to 64, right? It's a multiplier. But what gets even cooler is when you use social media, when you use LinkedIn, Instagram, how we're going to show you how to use it, Facebook, right? You're going to be able to multiply those by 6 to 10 times. So let's say I get 2 customers here into 4 customers, I can multiply that by 6 to where, hey, I'm getting 64 customers off of this one person, right? And you're going to do this by multiplying their successes, meaning you're going to use things like testimonials. You're going to get your customers to promote you. You're just going to use these social media outlets as a magnifying glass for this, as a megaphone, right? So this is just, again, to really help you understand and grasp the numbers that are possible here by using this referral method. So here's the $10 million lead process. You just got to get one raving fan, right? If you've ever checked out the book, 1,000 True Fans, you just need one fan. And a fan is a diehard person that's willing to not only send you business, but they're willing to be an advocate for solar. And again, we're going to go over that advocate process, but realize you're looking for a true fan. And often fans have to be created, and they're not just going to be given to you. If you get that one single advocate, it doesn't matter how you get that person, they're going to be able to help you for a lifetime. Spend 80% of your time multiplying these efforts. So rather than spending all of your energy and effort, your time and your money on just getting that little low-hanging fruit, reverse it and spend your time turning prospects into these advocates using Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, and other mediums to really magnify what they found to be true. Because people in this marketplace today are wanting to hear from others who have had success. There's so much noise. Every company is saying the exact same thing. If you can have the company that has customers being the face of your brand, customers who are speaking the truth about solar and setting up appointments for you, then you're going to win hands down every single time. And that's the place where in business and especially online these days, that's where we need to be spending all of our time and effort on. So spend 20% of your time getting those initial customers and 80% magnifying what they love about you. And then remember that lifetime value of the customer so you're not leaving cash on the table. So laser-like focus, okay? We've talked about focus. We've talked about how energy plays a huge part in this, right? Your time invested and all of this is a factor and a variable that's going to determine if you're successful at this or not. So just picking one prospecting method, I'm going to show you 4 prospecting methods today, right? I'm going to show you door knocking, how to master door knocking in a way I guarantee you've never used. I'm going to show you how to do LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram, okay? But here's what I don't want you to do. I do not, under any circumstance, want you to start using all of them. I want you to just pick one strategy. And I want you to take this strategy and I want you to master it. Like I've said before, you can make over $2 million a year in commissions off of just one of these strategies. And I've seen guys do it with every single one of those individually. But the people who try to do all of it are the ones who failed. They're the ones who waste all their time and energy. You only have so many points of energy, so many points of focus and willpower during the day. If you spend it amongst all of these, you're just going to be really crappy at all of them. And you're going to be exhausted. You're going to face burnout and you're not going to be successful. And you're going to be scratching your head wondering why this doesn't work. Pick one platform. I don't prefer any of them over another. You pick one, they all will work. And then every prospecting method, again, $2 million a year. So I don't know, if you're not making more than $2 million a year in commissions, then don't tell me you need to go try a different platform. It's ridiculous. So, positioning, okay? I want you to think about this replacement word. And I learned this from my mentor, Dan Locke. Maybe you've seen him before. I learned a lot of closing and prospecting methods from him. And as far as personal branding goes, this is the concept he really taught me on a coaching call a couple years back that I want you to understand as well because it totally changed the game with how I sell. He said, James, you want to do what is known as positioning, not prospecting. So prospecting, he said, is the easiest way to understand prospecting is fishing, right? The analogy of fishing. When you go fish with a spear, right, and you plunge that spear into the water, you're chasing around individual fish. And you might get 1, 2, 3 fish at a time, right? But you're very limited with the number of fish you could get. It takes the highest amount of energy to do so. And you get very minimum results. Yes, it might be quick. You might get the fish quicker. You might get an immediate result, but that's it. You have to go chasing and hunting every single day, which can be absolutely exhausting, as you know, right? The concept of positioning is throwing a net out in the water, right? Or you're having big fishing boats that have a net that are catching hundreds and thousands of fish at the exact same time, and they're coming to you. This is the concept you want for prospecting. You want your prospects, you want homeowners to be coming and seeking you out and not the other way around. And to get that process started, you just got to catch one freaking fish and you got to teach that fish how to fish for you, okay? Once you get one customer and you turn them into an advocate, they're going to bring multiple customers in. You do the same thing every time. I hope you guys are getting the point I'm at here. Spend most of your time multiplying the efforts, not just going for the one single little fish every time. That's the concept of positioning. So here's the positioning formula. There's 3 things you need to position yourself correctly with solar. First is going to be status, your status as an expert. You want to make sure you're mastering all of the fundamentals and pieces of a solar process. So this is communication skills. Your body language needs to be high status. Tonality needs to be on point. You need to be articulate. Your language, your appearance needs to be polished online, offline. You need to provide a world-class experience to your customers. This means your presentation is the best presentation they've ever seen in any circumstance in their entire life. That means that you're the most professional with follow-up, the most professional with phone calls, and you are the go-to guy they would recommend anybody to based off of your status. Because when your status is high, you have a whole level of respect. You're no longer viewed as a sales professional. You're viewed as a consultant, somebody who's there to help them get a result as a closer. Next is leverage. You're going to use social media platforms, events, referral advocates. You're going to leverage other people's influence, time, and resources to help you grow your business. The concept of leverage I've talked about a few times with the currencies of Sparta, but leverage is what's going to allow you to expand. What's going to allow you as an individual sales rep to have the power of a multiple 8-figure solar company of 25 people. I've seen so many companies with just massive teams with hundreds of sales reps produce a fraction of what a small, efficient, lean startup solar company can do. And it's because that startup company understood leverage. They understood the power of influence and not trying to just go and hunt with a spear, right, for the fish over and over again. And then the last part of positioning is results. I want you to imagine 2 scenarios here. Imagine that company A and the sales rep went out and he started pitching every single prospect, 60-second pitch, right? It was on point. He was doing a fantastic job, and he was getting appointments off of it. Let's say he gets 5 appointments in a day. And then let's take company B with this sales rep, only he's not doing the pitching. What he's doing is he has his customers, he has his leads pitching for him. They're pitching with video testimonials, written testimonials, and they're showing results on how they were happy with the presentation that he gave. And they're able to set the appointments. What's going to be more powerful? Option 1, you have to go hunt, spend all your energy on. Option 2, you spend energy up front training your prospects, but people want to buy from people they trust. And who are they going to trust more than their neighbor or their friend or their family member? They're going to magnify the results that you've given them, and that's going to be the most effective method. All right, so next, let's talk about the online presence, okay? Online presence is only key in one circumstance, and I think a lot of people in this industry are mistaken, and I've done this as well, to where they think online presence is necessary for generating leads. It's not. If you want to just be a door-knocking only company, door-knocking only rep, and that's your strength, and you want to play on your strengths and not bother with the rest, then by all means, please do. But this is where you need an online presence. You only need an online presence so that people, when you get big enough, people believe you're more credible. Because at the end of the day, a lot of customers are not going to trust you as much if you're not online. That's just the frank truth at this point. If you have one company who does 0 online profiles, they don't even have a website, the customer's not going to be able to research them. They're not going to be able to know if they are legit. This is where you're going to need an online presence, not to go hunt and spend hours in Facebook groups and chats, which will show you how to do if that's your thing, but everybody needs an online presence just for the sake of magnifying and showing that they are a legitimate expert in this industry. And we're going to do that by posting results, as we talked about. But realize you are going to need an online presence, and we're going to show you how to set that up correctly, easily, so you're not wasting your time in some of these lead gen methods here. So let's talk about these results, right? I want you to think 2 things here: presentations and installs. Don't cut yourself short like so many reps by only advertising your customers' installations. See, I see a lot of people on Facebook, a lot of solar professionals, which is good that they're even doing this because most aren't. They're taking pictures with their customers. They're on installation day and they're posting this out to the world to see, right? Which is awesome. They're magnifying results that they got the job done, that the sale is done. But what I don't see solar professionals doing, that is a huge miss. You're missing the boat with this one, is focusing on presentations. Your results as a solar professional are subjective, meaning you can provide results throughout the entire sales process, not just the installation. So if you give a fantastic presentation and help that prospect finally figure out if solar makes sense for them after getting 12, 15 quotes, magnify that result. Magnify the result and focus on getting more presentations to help more people do the same thing. If you're great at follow-up, have your customer, have your prospect give you a testimonial on why you're so good at follow-up. And because of your follow-up, you were able to go with him and you knew that, and the customer knew that you were going to be in there for the long haul, right? There's so many different results that you give as a solar professional. I want you to break those down and magnify them. Get your customers to post them for you. We're going to show you how to do that again. Post your customers' testimonials, right? Have them do video testimonials and use the Spartan Advocate method we'll show you. So to review lead generation, right? The dichotomy of lead generation is we want to focus on the full picture, not just the low-hanging fruit. We want to have laser focus on one lead generation method, not 4, not 5, not 6. More is not better, especially as an individual, right? You might be able to as you build a team, but as an individual, you focus on one lead gen method. Positioning yourself as an expert with status, perfecting your presentation, and then marketing those results that you give to your prospects, presentations, follow-ups, installs, all of the above, and using a mouthpiece online, right? Social media of some sort. And then the last piece here is I want to talk about follow-up. Okay, follow-up is where 80% of the money is, right? And the reason so many sales reps really miss all this cash, right? All the lower, 90% plus of the pie, right? Potential money is because they don't follow up. And there's no secret to follow up, okay? There's no secret follow-up method. The secret follow-up method is you have to freaking do it, and you have to do it consistently and almost to an aggressive point. You want to do what I call passionately persistent. If you believe in your product, right, the fundamentals of what we talked about in the Spartan system, your product, your company, and yourself, you're not going to have any issues promoting this to others. The only time you will be hesitant to follow up is if your mindset's incorrect, if something's not correct. So if you feel you don't feel right about follow-up and you're hesitant to do so, I want you to go back and review those things and make sure that you are comfortable with your product, your company, and yourself. And then rewire your mindset to be on point with follow-up and realize the importance of it. So here's the follow-up method. I want you to call, text, and leave a voicemail to your prospects every single day for 4 days. This is the 4-day follow-up method. So when you get a new lead, I want you to hit them up 4 days every single day with all 3 methods. And I guarantee that 80-90% of these people are going to respond after the 4 days because they don't know you're going to stop on the 5th day, right? So you're going to hit them up every single day, and then you're going to follow up with them every week for an entire month. So 4 weeks in a row, right? And then after that, you're going to reach out every single month forever until they tell you to buzz off, right? Now you could see where this is what it takes to really be successful to follow up, but it takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of grind. I want you to spend most of your time following up, not necessarily chasing new leads, but following up for referrals, following up with customers, following up with past leads, and you're going to be amazed at the results you could get. So one thing, I want to give you a little ninja trick here before we're wrapping up this module, is I want you to go to your past database of leads. Maybe your company will give them to you. Maybe you just have them, right? Most companies are sitting on 10, 20,000 leads just chilling there that they didn't sufficiently follow up with. I just did this with one of our clients in San Diego. He gave a list of 1,700 leads, right? It wasn't ridiculous. And we pounded them with our call, right? We called them up, called, text, voicemailed, and we ended up getting... There's about 27 appointments off of that within a day. Just ridiculous amount of appointments. But here's the ridiculous thing we found. After we were done with the follow-up sequence here, we found that over 80 customers ended up going solar with a competitor in that list because he did not follow up. 80 solar customers we counted on there. 80. He missed 80 potential deals and more with referrals. So don't let your leads just sit there. Go follow up with them and aggressively follow up with them. All right, so I want you to go to the file vault on this. We have a lot of resources on the lead generation here. There's going to be a lot of file vault pieces on the LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, all the door knocking scripts, all of that good stuff. The file vault is your best friend in this circumstance. I don't want to spend a ton of time talking to you about these. I'm going to give you the core mindsets and fundamentals you need with this, but it's going to come down to your practice, your implementation of these follow-up methods and these scripts. Listen to the recordings, listen to the audio. That's how you're going to have the most success with your lead gen. Okay, guys, I'll see you in the next module.